Hey guys, Jason Creel and I'm living the lawn care life. I wanted to give you a bit of lawn care business advice on dealing with your competition. Stay tuned. You know, being in Alabama, one of the things that we do around here as part of the culture is that we really like college football. And so some of you that watch football, and if you don't, I think the illustration will still make sense. But, you know, we have Nick Saban's our coach. I told people, you know, he gets more TV time, more media time than way more than the governor or anybody else in the state. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just telling you that's the truth. Well, one of the things that I hear Nick Saban say is he's built this, you know, powerhouse football program. Is the week before his current game, he'll begin talking about the opponent in his press conference. And it doesn't matter who they play. It doesn't matter who Alabama's playing because they play teams like, you know, I mean, they play the good teams, but they play Tennessee, Chattanooga, and they play, you know, some games that you know they're going to win. Georgia Southern, you know, they're favored by 40-something points or whatever. It's crazy numbers. And Nick Saban will get on there in the press conference a few days before the game, and they'll start asking questions about the game. He'll start off with something like this. He'll say, well, you know, let's say they're playing Georgia Southern. He's like, well, you know, we've got a lot of respect for the opponent. They've got playmakers on offense. Their wide receivers are special. They've got an outstanding running back. Their quarterback's playing well this year. We've got a lot of respect for their coaching staff. On the defense side of the ball, they're third in their conference in running yards per game. They've got a good secondary. Their linebackers are fast and athletic. I mean, he says this kind of stuff almost every single week. I'm thinking, are we playing the New England Patriots again this week? You know, and I'm an Alabama fan. It's like, and everybody in there knows Alabama is going to destroy this team. It's not going to be, and yet when you hear Nick Saban talk about them, it's this, and this is the point of the video. He has respect for the opponent. Now, some of that, he, you know, as a coach, he's trying to motivate the players, and you know, he probably knows in the back of his mind they're going to blow him out too. But it's a respect for the opponent, and it's like he finds ways to talk positively about the other team. So, and you know what is one of the funniest things about those Nick Saban press conferences is he's almost daring one of those reporters to ask a question, and it happens every once in a while, and it gets all over the TV. But they'll ask a question like this. Coach, you know, since we're playing Georgia Southern this week, do you think this is a great opportunity to get your second and third string players some opportunity to play more? And then Saban just goes off on them about, you know, assuming that we're going to win and our second and third strings are going to get to play, and he just lights into the reporter. But it's just hilarious because everybody knows it's coming. So here's the point. I found this, and this is true in the lawn care business particularly. I'm a member of some of these lawn care Facebook groups out there, and I see people, the way that the lawn care business owners interact with each other. It is entertaining, but it is also so condescending. I can't read it sometimes. I mean, I read it, I'm like, come on, man. So somebody that's fairly new in the business will ask a question that's kind of a rookie question, you know, and I mean, it's just 50 comments telling that guy what an idiot he is. And to me, that's a little bit sad. I mean, I know I don't understand why people do it, but I do understand to some degree. But I don't think that's a good thing. So what I'm saying, for a lawn care business owner to have respect for everyone in the lawn care business industry. Now let's understand this. Perhaps you don't respect everything about them, okay? I'm sure Nick Saban doesn't respect everything about another team. I mean, you know, I'm sitting there watching or listening to the news conference on the radio. I'm thinking, the team is 1-5 and they hadn't had a winning record in 8 years, you know? So like, what? They're not that good. I mean, why don't we just say it? They're not very good. I know you can't say that and he can't say that, but, and there's some lawn business competition, whether it be locally or in your area or whatever, that are not as good as they should be, you know. And you think in your mind, maybe you've been doing this a while, and you think, you know what, the quality of their work's not that good. Look at their equipment; it's sorry equipment. They've got a, you know, whatever you want to say about it, it's not that good. And I understand that, but and sometimes even big companies, you think, you know, yeah, oh yeah, they're big, but you know, the quality of their work is whatever, terrible. So I think it's easy to do that But I think there's some real wisdom in what Nick Saban's doing, and I try to show respect toward the opposition, even if I think in the back of my mind, you know what, in some ways I'm better than them. And if I'm honest, in some ways they run their company better than me. For instance, let's say there's a really big company and the quality of the work's not that good, okay? And you know it's not that good. And you see it all over and over again. You're like, the quality of their work is not nearly what the quality of my company's work is, you know. And I'm not necessarily talking about me, I'm you know, just hypothetically, if you were in that situation. Well, the truth is, there's a reason they got to be big. So maybe you're right. Maybe the quality of work isn't very good, you know. At the same time, if you had a humongous company, I think for a lot of us, we might have a hard time keeping the quality of the work up. And you have to acknowledge, how in the world did they get so big if their quality of work is not that good? Perhaps they're very excellent in some areas of the business that I'm not that good at. Maybe my quality of work's good, but I'm not very good at marketing. You know, they must be an outstanding marketing company to be able to grow to that size, even with less than quality work. So, you know what I'm saying? So you can find ways to respect your competition. I think another important tip is don't try to avoid your competition in your local area. If you see them working on a yard next to you, I find it, you know, just go over and introduce yourself. To me, it would be better to know them personally, and I find that most of the time they have respect for me and I have respect for them. We get to know each other. Yeah, we're competing, but at the end of the day, I want to know them. And you know, I know I'm going to lose some customers to them, they're going to lose some customers to me, but I would rather us get to know each other and have somewhat of a relationship than to always feel like we're enemies and we can't talk to each other. So I try to talk to them at a gas station if I see them, or just out working on a lawn. So 2 more points I want to make. If you're big and established, don't turn your nose down at the rookie. I mean, if you can offer them advice, if you can offer them help, if maybe there's even some customers that are a little bit out of your range and you can say, hey, you know what, I've got a handful of customers I'd be happy to give you to help you get going. You know, I just don't feel like super overly threatened by some new guy starting out that I can't talk to them or even be willing to help them in some way. And then if you are the new guy in the same way, don't be, you know, so intimidated to go talk to somebody who's more established. You know, the truth is, they probably were new like you at one point, didn't know a lot, and so you're going to get there and just go initiate the relationship with them. If some of them blow you off and act like you're not in their league, then that, you know, that's fine. That's really on them. But to me, I think you go and you start initiating those relationships, and don't avoid the bigger jobs. You know, you think, well, I'm just starting out, I'm not qualified for that. I don't believe that. And I remember a story that one of my mentors told me when I first started in the lawn business. There was one of the nicest neighborhoods in the city we lived in, and he told me, he said, you know what, there was a lady there and she had this big landscaping job in this super nice neighborhood, and he told her, he had just started, he said, you know, oh, I can't do it, I can't do that. And he said the customer actually told him, no, I want you to do it. And he said, you know, he did the job, and you know, I think everything went fine and everything, but he needed the customer actually to come out and to instill some confidence in him. And sometimes we look at it and say, I can't go in that neighborhood. That's the nicest neighborhood, and those people pay a lot, and I'm just starting out, so I couldn't do that. You know, don't do that. Don't sell yourself short. You can focus on the quality of the work. Maybe, yeah, it might take you a little bit longer. You might be a little slower. You might only get 1 yard in that neighborhood this year. But, you know, don't be intimidated and just leave all that to the bigger companies, because sometimes a smaller company who's willing to put in a little extra time may find that some of those customers are willing to hire you over some of the bigger, more established companies. Hope it helps. Go ahead and watch the related videos popping up, and go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you hadn't done so. Look forward to talking to you soon.